More powerful, more powerful. Me mo kwaba e de wo bag Ghana King TV. Another da wo hwe ha na wo subscribe channel no ama me share video no fama adofo na adofo ni na wo hwe na wo share. Na ya bayi na chose Ghana hensem nkomo ene yebedie Ghana ahensem ne abakwasem amane ne amamre ena yebedi ehun nkomo ne asuade kakra enso edi afrimu na ene yebekọ eye nsem bia ebobokọ so ewo Manhyia Afrikese mu efa boko ensem a na yewurate so a na oka ya ene politicians ni mu ne binumo ede wo madwen aba ene nsem bia ehye adagadwa ni na apiapia mu ewo Manhyia Afrikese mu baabi asem ne certificate ye ene baabi ene aba abewie no ene ho nkomo kakra ene ne menimu bedie na yesuade bi kakra ne yahwe se baabi Otumfour ka asem yakoduin menimu mienu bedi ho adanse se ansemi ensori biem se de ya namudie ekoye ya ansori biem asumdue etimi ba hoi na se be ya yin na ebe ka bom na so ko politicians no ensam fa wo mo ho enkwagi asem mu enko promise wo mo meyesi amawe mekasa amawe emmamu no na chese aboa ama ya hensem ya sumdue etimi ayeden abamu erunti yankomra na said ye no yaba yabedi ho enkomo.
Bawku crisis has been on from the days of Kwame Nkrumah. It looks like Otumfour must be given his flowers right now. He was the one who ended up bringing peace to Dagbon after the Abudu Gate and the Andani Gate were caught in a tangle that lasted so long. Several lives were lost. Otumfour went in there and he spoke to them. Don't disgrace me. The Dagombes and the Asantes are one people. Historically, they came in an alliance. And they fought and won so many wars. When you go to Asantemai, the Ashanti Museum, you will find a lot of talismans built by the Dagombes. In fact, one of their biggest warriors, Opoku Fede, was a Dagomba. Some Ashanti queen mothers, my brother, my sister, were Dagombes. And to make it even more interesting, Bantama in Kumasi was named by the Dagombes. In fact, it was the Otumfour at the time who gave them the place after he brought them all the way from the north to come there and be in a certain love relationship with Ashanti women so that they will have taller men, more handsome men, and brave men. My brother, my sister, the Otumfour at the time was the wisest history ever provided us in this country. Even at a time when science had not proven yet that a man with good qualities here, a woman with these good qualities here can come together and pick these good qualities and dash out the bad qualities. The Otumfour knew it. He saw the Dagomba men tall and very strong. And in his own words, they were foolhardy. It means they were brave for nothing. He believed at the time that the Asantes were wiser than the Dagombes. So he told himself, our men are very short and ugly. Why don't we go for the Dagomba men? Let them get into a love relationship with our women. They will give birth to men who are tall and handsome, and they will also inherit our brains as Asantes, having inherited the height and also the handsomeness of the Dagombes. These are not my words, the words of the Otumfour at the time. And it worked. Today, when we see Asante men, tall, handsome, and extremely brave, they have inherited Asante traits and Dagomba traits. Otumfour said this only last year, and so many Asantes were shocked. He told the history that I'm telling, history that I've told you several years back. I'm sure when people heard Black Rasta telling this history, they thought I was making up things. When Otumfour repeated the same thing only last year, many were shocked. So when he went to Dagbon, he told them, please stop. Don't disgrace me. There must be peace now. Our relationship does not allow for me to speak to you and you don't listen to me. immediately there has been peace in the mall. No Abuni Gate, no Andani Gate feuds. When the President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama, realized the power of the Otumfour, he asked Otumfour to broker peace right there in Bawku. Who are those feuding in Bawku? It's the Kusasis and the Mamprusis. The Mamprusis come from the same line as the Moli Dagbani, the Dagombes, the Danumba. The Kusasis are also from the Moli Dagbani. They speak the same language but different dialects. Just as the Mosis and then the people from Tongo and Bolga, the Frafres and the Talenses. My brother, my sister, this is history. Asante knows the history. So he is standing on the foundation of history and brokering peace. Such a wonderful king. I love this man. Since Asante started the peace process, we haven't had a single gunshot in Bawku. No rat has even squeaked. No cricket, my brother, my sister, has made any noise there. It's only the birds chirping and singing songs of praise to the Most High for the peace. Look what Otumfour has done. Nana, piao, obo, obo, oba, no, piao, piao, piao. Ghana web, watch scenes from Manhyia as two factions in Bawku Chieftaincy conflict meet Otumfour. Hey. Did you see the setting? Bring back the setting. Look, Jesus have mercy. Watch this. You see the golden seats? Jesus have mercy. Asante Kotoko. Asante Kotoko. Kuma pima pimbeba. Dagomba Kotoko. Kuma pima pimbeba. Anwa Kotoko. Kuma pima pimbeba. There are only 3 Kotokos in the history of Asante. Did you know that? In Zima Kotoko, Nwa Kotoko, which is the Gomba Kotoko, and Asante Kotoko. We have no Fanti Kotoko. We have no Musi Kotoko. We have Nwa Kotoko, which simply means the Gomba Kotoko. In Zima Kotoko and Asante Kotoko. You know why? Because the Asantes came together with these 2 other ethnic groups, the Dagomba and the Nzima. So Asante men and women are supposed to marry Nzimas for free. All they need is a bunch of plantains, I think 5 fingers. That's enough. Because of the activities and the achievements of Otumfour Anoche in helping to build the Asante Empire. The Asante king said, look at what this man has done. Let's never ever fight with the Nzimas. Why the Nzimas? There are a lot of theories that say Otumfour Anoche was actually an Nzima. And we've gone through this history. This is not a history class. I'm not going to go into the history. Some other people say he was from Okubua. The Ewe say he was a king in Ewe land called Togbi Charlie. You see, when you are a good man, everybody wants to own you. I remember when I was in Wa banging the radio. Many were those who said I was a Wala man from Kambale. Some said I was a Dagati from Laura. Some said I was a Sisala man from Tumu. Others said I was a Musi who had just come in from Burkina Faso. You know, but I was originally Jamaican. My brother, when people start claiming you, it means you are doing something good. If you're a bad person, nobody would like to be associated to you. So 3 types of Kotoko. Asante Kotoko, the mother Kotoko, Nwa Kotoko, which is the Gomba Kotoko, and Nzima Kotoko. Watch this. The Asante ini Otumfour Osetutu II on Tuesday, that's today, April 29, 2025, resumed the Otumfour mediation process, a significant initiative aimed at resolving the long-standing Bawku Chieftaincy conflict. Now, the mediation process is taking place at the Manhyia Palace in Kumasi. I like that. Otumfour sat in his royal regalia and invited the feuding parties. According to reports, representatives from the two factions involved in the dispute, the Kusasis and the Mampusis, have already arrived at the palace. Visuals from the venue of the initial meeting have been shared on social media, offering a glimpse into the solemn and carefully arranged setting. Now, the hall features a stage with 3 pairs of chairs, 2 placed in the center for the mediators, 2 in the center, flanked by seats on the other side, presumably for the leaders of the opposing factions. What? Now, the hall features a stage with 3 pairs of chairs, 2 placed in the center, right? Additionally, seating has been arranged on the right and left sides of the hall, likely to accommodate members of the factions' entourages. Let's have a look at what it looks like in the Asante-Hene's palace. Watch this. Very beautiful. Look at the floor. So neat and beautiful. Look at the golden chairs. And look at the seats. Look at the sitting arrangement. And look on stage, far away on stage. There are 2 chairs that are facing us and 2 that are facing each other. Oh, Jesus. And they are all gold in color. And what is it? It's 25 years of transforming lives, a legacy of hope and progress. And that's Otumfour Osei Foundation fundraising gala. Of course, this is not a fundraising gala, but that was the setting for the fundraising gala. And this is where it is happening. My brother, my sister, watch this. It's beautiful. As shared by Otumfour Radio, the stage is set at Manhyia Palace as Otumfour Osei II Asante resumes mediation efforts in the Bawku conflict today. And these are pictures that are circulating in the media. To the Otumfour, I want to say thank you so much for doing this. Today I was talking to somebody. We need to protect Otumfour and show him more respect. He's the only one in Ghana right now who will speak and feuding parties will keep quiet.
Expectations even. Well, let's go back to yesterday and Nana Boakye Yadom and what he had to share with us on the back of these developments.
The Asante-Hene Otumfour Osei II accepted the request to intervene in the long-standing chieftaincy and ethnic tensions that have crippled Bawku for decades, often erupting into violence and displacing thousands. The mediation process is expected to be conducted behind closed doors as part of efforts to foster open and honest dialogue. The feuding factions reported to Manhyia Palace on Monday for the commencement of the mediation process. Teacher Safo Kantanka is a monarchical historian at the Manhyia Palace. He highlights the significant role the Asante-Hene will play in the mediation efforts.
Important, Asante-Hene has already told them that all guns should go silent. Nobody should fight until he has finished his mediation. And they are still fighting in a way, but I believe strongly that tomorrow we'll see the beginning of the ceasefire. Well, the Dagon issue was among brothers. So that makes it a little different from a case where it's between 2 different groups. That is only the difference. Otherwise, it's about the same thing. Because, you know, anything involving a conflict requires a high degree of security. So no one should be told that there will be security issue, strong security measures.
According to Teacher Kantanka, the engagement with the factions will lead to finding lasting peace in Bawku.
You will not expect much. It is only when we have got to second or third step, getting to the middle of it, that you can deduce something out of it. But since they are going to meet for the first time, it will be very difficult to tell how it's going to work out. In any case, it will still work out well, because since they have agreed to come and meet Otumfour and accept him as the mediator, it is clear that everything will work out well.
And so tomorrow we're expecting both of them to be at the palace with their Santini and then government officials joining. And so you believe, hopefully, that there's going to be a resolution to this?
Absolutely, but it's not the final solution. It's the beginning of the solution.
No, Bawku, you know that it's just on, should I say, the outskirts of the area. There's also Austin Game. He's an alternative dispute resolution expert, and we'll be joined by Albert Yeliang. He's with the National Network. He's National Network Coordinator with West African Network for Peace Building, or WANEP for short. And later we shall also engage regional correspondents on some of these developments. But let me come into the studio now. Mr. Mahmoud, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, and thank you for bringing me to your studios this morning.
This conflict in Bawku started way before I was born, and we are still here in 2025 trying to bring some sanity, conclusion to the matter. How hopeful are you that at this point in that effort, we may actually see some conclusion to the matter?
Yes, you got it right, that the conflict started way back before we were born, not you alone, but in this case.
Well, I can't say for you, yeah, okay.
We were born, but thankfully, the conflict used to come to a halt. We used to enjoy peace. Then once in a while, you see some 1 or 2 disruptions, a week or 2, in some cases, some few months. The conflict can come back again, and we find a solution, live together as neighbors, brothers, or whichever way you want to look at it, until this recent one that sparked about 3 years ago. And here we are. It is moving from bad to worst. Yes, and per the question you asked me, maybe this is because we have not solved it or putting in measures enough that if we resolve it or if we ever enjoy peace, those measures are enough to check and ensure that, yes, we don't ever see the conflict again. And I think that is why we sometimes have peace, and as we go along, then something come to disrupt that peace process again, and the conflicts keep recurring back forth. And that is how come we are where we are now. And I think that we've all come to understand what the question you just asked, that is a long, old conflict. And so we need to find a lasting solution, and not like what we've done in the past, that the conflict keep recurring again. And so I believe that that is among the reasons why government has referred it to Otumfour to mediate and find a lasting solution to it. And so I'm quite confident that we are looking forward that this Otumfour-led mediation should bring a lasting peace to Bawku.
Ben will come in shortly, but I want to take you back. And from your perspective, why do you think we keep coming back here? I know you just, sort of narrated how it's been there from age long. We tried to solve it, and it's, came back again 3 years ago. But why do you think that you, a member of parliament for Binduri, which is close to Bawku, why do you think we keep coming back to the Bawku conflict, the Bawku crisis?
Yes, I wouldn't want to take us down to history, but I want to limit or restrict myself to where we are now, what brought about the current situation that we even saw the need to refer to Otumfour mediation process. Yes, what we must understand as leaders, because I am here as a member of parliament for my constituency, is that if you are given a responsibility, being it professionally, being it whichever way that you find yourself as a leader, you should foresee that your actions and inactions may lead you to certain consequences someday. And so I think that is among the reasons why for the past before 3 years now, we have a chief in Bawku. That is the Zugrana Bokunaba Asigre Abugragu. He has been there before I was born. He's a legitimate chief, gazetted to perform both his traditional and statutory functions. Then all of a sudden, yes, there may be issues. Someone may disagree with that process, or someone may disagree about he being the chief of the area. But if you disagree, you have to go through the same legitimate processes to destool him, which, among others, make sure that his name is removed from our national gazette as a chief, before you can then think of inskinning another chief. But if that is not done, and the whole state machinery is used to supervise the installation or the inskinment of another chief in the same town, seeking to take control or seeking to undermine that legitimate chief who has exercised his authority, his power as such for over 42 years now and still counting, what then do you expect? And so, in effect, what I'm driving home is that the leadership at the time, the state, whose duty to ensure that there is law and order, or things do not do that will lead us to the current state that we are now complaining about, should have foreseen this, reasonable foresee it, of course, and make sure that measures were put in place to prevent the inskinment of the rival chief. But rather push them to go through the legitimate processes, if they think they can, to destool the current Bokunaba before inskinning a chief. And in that way, we wouldn't have a rival chief. It would have been clear that maybe he did not, even though he has been in the throne for the past 42 years now, maybe he was illegitimate. And so once you know you have the evidence, you have what it takes to prove that he is not supposed to be the chief, then you ought to go through law to do that, but you don't go about installing a rival chief. And so their actions was reasonable, foreseeable that we'll get to where we are today, and yet they looked on and supervised it and did all they could to bring us to where we are. And they themselves even seen that quickly they became confused of whichever way I should describe them, issuing letters here, going to high court, seeking injunctions to restrain him from action, even to some extent asking for the arrest of the Nairi and the likes. We don't know. They themselves went again to the Court of Appeal. They could not defend it. And then that warrant was revoked. And then the chief was brought home. And so,
for clarity, when you say the leadership, I mean, you're saying that basically the leaders failed the people. Who are these leaders you're talking about?
Yes, the leadership, I was clear. I was clear that political leadership.
Political leadership.
Yes. Because at each point in time, you see the state security supervising this, ensuring that those who are engaged in these illegal processes are being protected. And so who is supposed to prevent it? They are supposed to prevent it, but we rather see them supervising all this.
Ben.
There's a message that comes through from Yeboah Benjamin, who says, the people of Bawku should know that the conflict they have inherited from their forebears may not be won with the sounds of cannons, but would be won on the grounds of compromise, compassion, and candidness, born out of deeper reflections and introspection. So this person is proffering compromise instead of cannons or, warfare, compromise, compassion, and candidness. You're a lawyer. You're also a former police officer. Is that correct?
That is correct.
We've tried using the law
yes,
to resolve the conflict, and it has remained intractable still in certain ways. what there have been actions from outside of the area, internally, are the people willing to, as this person sends the message, compromise, show compassion, and be candid about the situation? I ask because I've had numerous conversations over the last how many years on this same issue, and it's always about, oh, I'm right and you are wrong on both sides. Are the people willing to show these compromise?
Yes, the people are more than willing.
Ghana, from Parliament, from First Star House, from national security, from IGP, baby BIA immigration, and the fire service in G2 say, I did you about 2 full seat to pay any bit to me. A car same way, I'm a same way, I had every hole. A team member Suja, Ghana for na every a team abamu. Na said ye nano, did ye papa? Yo be anya you will 2 full na ene amakin Charles, ebo you blabason. Na ama the American president Donald Trump and so ebo you ra Otumfour osietutu apaso na bakosem se the city na said you were kanipa bom na wo boma Ghana etumpon na Ghana nkoso na santema edin na asante kingdom edin no eno Donald Trump trans no say hey papa you say me ba Ghana na me betia no na me di experience e feel ho say sele kwan ya faso kanipa bom na said ye enche Donald Trump ba ye wo hwe se asundwe pa beba e bi te se Russia na Ukraine tem nyina wo hwe Burkina Faso mo ho nyina wo hwe se asundwe beba eno na sese me no mo kasei media is alleged say Donald Trump American president etimi aye na dream say baby te say Ukraine and Russia ensemi ene Burkina Faso ensemi obaso odi nyina beto Otumfour anim na ye Otumfour ehwe na wakasa asem no ye den na odi ye atu ye ema wom na asundwe pa ye hwe no etim ye den ebam eti ye twatwe mu say ye Donald Trump 2 weeks na wahihye say obeba na wabesa ye Otumfour na ensema bepiem titu pa sansem no a ebeboa ama Donald Trump na becha ye Otumfour na wade Ukraine ana Russia entokwa ekoso da se ye nsa ni yura etimi afresa ankofo nyina ba manhia wade Putin ba manhia wade Ukraine president ba manhia wade Burkina Faso president nya ba manhia na wahwe na wasiesi asem no na asem no akwakoda ba bia wo seda yura se we asundwe wura awo wiase nyina Otumfour ye Ghana king esa you say obedane Africa king esa enche obaji wiase nyina king because akunyo osisuo no eskedwe kofi ebi ni ba bibia biem age asantemam pe na obehia bie eno ntina ma na bakosem mu yedu ento ama ba bibia wiase nyina esua na bakosem na obibia pese obehu yewura Otumfour osietutu na ohun sedi ositie eno nti Ghana king yewon bia no ye bebobobo ade amamo ene ne da wo hwe ha na bepacho subscribe channel na share video no fama adofo na adofo nyina o hwe na wo share uwi a na obomodin atrewadwin enso o comment section ho abote kwan so isu abakwasem amane ni amamne Ghana hensem nkomo ene yedi Ghana hensem na ekotes ene ya nakopon shao ye be se share biom e wo Ghana king